Beloved, I want you to take a deep breath. Now slowly exhale and allow your heart to open to this truth. Everything you desire is already waiting for you. But to receive it, to align with it, to fully experience it, you must rise into a new level of focus. Not through force, not through stress, but through gentle awareness and loving intention. Your focus is your power. It is the invisible current that shapes your reality, the guiding light that determines what grows and what fades away in your life. Every single thought you entertain, every emotion you nurture, and every belief you hold, they all respond to the direction of your focus. When you learn to center your attention with intention and love, you begin to unlock a version of yourself that is powerful beyond measure. Most people don't realize how scattered their energy becomes throughout the day. One moment they are thinking about the past, reliving old hurts, replaying conversations, and regretting decisions. The next, they're anxiously leaping into the future, worrying about what might go wrong, fearing outcomes that haven't even happened. This constant mental tug-of-war drains the very power that is meant to build the life they desire. But when you choose to focus, truly focus, not with tension, but with presence, everything begins to change. Your focus is what transforms chaos into clarity. It is the silent architect of your dreams. If you want healing, focus on wellness. If you want love, focus on worthiness. If you want peace, focus on surrender. The universe responds not to desperation, but to alignment. And alignment is found where your focus rests. You do not need to control everything to change your life. You simply need to guide your focus gently and consistently in the direction of what you want to experience. You are not required to fix every problem, but you are invited to shift your perspective. That shift, although subtle, is where the true transformation begins. Each time you catch yourself drifting into worry, you can lovingly redirect your focus. Say to yourself, this thought is not helping me. I choose a new one. This is not denial. It is divine discipline. You are not running from reality. You are choosing to co-create a better one. You have the power to break the cycle of scattered energy. You do not have to react to every trigger or respond to every distraction. Not every thought that enters your mind deserves your attention. Not every voice needs a reply. The more you practice returning to your center, the more empowered you become. Your peace becomes unshakable. Your energy becomes magnetic. Think of your focus like sunlight. Scattered rays are warm, but when concentrated, they become a beam so powerful it can ignite fire. That is what happens when you focus your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your emotions toward one vision. You begin to create momentum. Life begins to organize itself around your commitment. Doors open, people align, opportunities appear, not because they never existed, but because you finally tuned yourself into their frequency. This is not about hustling harder or exhausting yourself in pursuit of success. This is about trusting that your internal world shapes your external one. When your focus is rooted in faith instead of fear, in love instead of lack, the entire energy of your life begins to shift. You start feeling less overwhelmed and more guided. You start replacing confusion with clarity. Instead of trying to force outcomes, you surrender to the unfolding, knowing that your energy is already doing the work. You were never meant to chase your desires with frantic energy. You were meant to become the version of yourself who already lives that life. And that becoming is only possible through focus. Not the focus of pressure or perfectionism, but the sacred, soft focus of devotion. Devotion to yourself, devotion to your healing, devotion to your dreams, And yes, distractions will still arise. You will still feel doubt, fear, and even frustration. But in those moments, your practice is to come back, over and over again, come back to center. Breathe, reconnect, remind yourself of who you are and what you desire. Each time you do, you strengthen the muscle of focus. And just like anything you practice daily, it becomes natural, effortless, empowering. Your focus is not just a tool, it is your birthright. It is the compass that leads you home. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be willing. Willing to shift, willing to let go, willing to choose again. So as you walk forward, hold this truth close to your heart. The power you've been searching for is already within you. It always has been. And the more you direct your focus with love, intention, and belief, the more your outer world begins to reflect your inner light. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are becoming. Keep your focus steady, your heart open, and your spirit trusting. Everything you desire is already on its way, and your focus is the bridge that will carry you there. Let go of mental clutter. Let go of the noise, the doubts, the endless what-ifs that take up space in your mind and weigh down your spirit. You were never meant to carry the heaviness of every thought that drifts through your awareness. Not every thought is truth. Not every thought is helpful, and not every thought is yours to keep. Mental clutter builds up quietly. It gathers with every worry, every judgment, every replayed memory and imagined scenario. It fills the sacred space of your mind, leaving little room for clarity, peace, or inspiration. It creates fog where there should be light. It builds walls where there should be flow. When your mind is cluttered, your path feels confusing, your energy feels scattered, and your connection to your higher self feels distant. But the truth is that clarity, that peace, that connection, it's never gone. It's simply hidden beneath the noise. You don't have to keep thinking the same thoughts over and over again. You don't have to solve every problem in your mind before taking a breath. You don't have to understand every outcome or fix every situation before you can feel peace. You have permission to release the mental baggage. You have permission to feel light again. The first step is awareness. Begin to notice the thoughts that cycle through your mind without judgment. Notice the repetitive worries, the fears disguised as logic, the harsh inner critic that keeps whispering that you're not enough. Observe these patterns like passing clouds, not storms you have to chase. When you become the observer instead of the reactor, you begin to take your power back. You realize that you can choose which thoughts to entertain and which to release. You are not your mind. You are the awareness behind it, the stillness beneath the noise, the silence between the thoughts. That still, wise presence within you is always there, waiting for you to return home. And when you clear away the mental clutter, even just a little, that stillness speaks louder. It guides you. It soothes you. It reminds you of who you really are. Letting go of mental clutter doesn't mean forcing yourself to think positively all the time. It means giving yourself space. Space to breathe, space to pause, space to ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? It means consciously deciding to shift your focus toward thoughts that bring relief, even if they're simple, even if they're quiet, even if they're just a gentle, I am safe, I am doing my best. I don't have to figure it all out right now. Sometimes mental clutter comes from the outside, from too much information, too many opinions, too many voices telling you what to do, who to be, how to live. When you constantly absorb noise from the world, your inner voice becomes harder to hear. That's why it's so important to disconnect, to be still, to give yourself moments of silence, not just in your environment, but in your soul. When you do, your own truth begins to rise again. You remember what matters to you. You remember your values. You reconnect with your intentions. Letting go of mental clutter is an act of self-love. It's a choice to protect your energy, to stop overthinking conversations that already happened, to stop imagining worst-case scenarios, to stop doubting your every decision. It's saying to yourself, I deserve peace, I deserve clarity, I deserve to be free. You are allowed to rest your mind. You are allowed to put things down, even if just for a moment. You are allowed to stop trying so hard, because sometimes in the stillness, things begin to resolve on their own. Solutions arise, inspiration flows, healing begins. But none of it can happen if your mind is full of noise. You must create space for the new to enter. Start small. Take a few minutes each day to sit with yourself. Breathe. Be still. Let your thoughts come and go without grabbing onto any of them. With practice, this becomes easier. And with each moment of stillness, your energy becomes lighter, your intuition becomes clearer, your heart becomes calmer. You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to clear your mind entirely. You just have to be willing to try. Be willing to let go of what no longer serves you. Be willing to choose peace over pressure, presence over perfection, flow over force. You are not meant to carry it all. You are not meant to fix everything. You are meant to trust the process and let your mind become a channel for grace instead of a container for clutter. So as you breathe deeply, remind yourself, I let go of what no longer belongs. I release the thoughts that weigh me down. I make space for peace, clarity, and light. And in this space, I come home to myself. Be present with your vision. Stay with it, hold it gently in your heart, and nurture it like a seed that has just been planted. It may not have fully bloomed yet, but that doesn't mean it's not growing. Just because you can't see it with your physical eyes doesn't mean it isn't real. The vision that lives within you was placed there for a reason, and your presence is what gives it life. Too often, we abandon our dreams, not because they're impossible, but because we're not fully present with them. We think about them in passing, wish for them at night, or revisit them when life feels dull. But presence is different. Presence is not just thinking about your vision, it's feeling it, aligning with it, honoring it in your daily choices. When you are present with your vision, you begin to embody the future before it arrives. You become the fertile ground in which your dream can take root and grow strong. Presence means showing up for what you want, not once, not occasionally, but consistently and lovingly. It means giving your energy, your focus, and your belief to the life you want to create. Every time you visualize your vision, every time you take a small step toward it, every time you affirm that it's already yours, you are tending to it like watering a garden. Your consistent presence helps your dream unfold in perfect timing. There may be days when your vision feels far away, days when doubt creeps in and whispers that you're not good enough, not ready, not worthy. On those days, it is even more important to return to your center. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and reconnect with your vision. Feel it as if it's already here. Speak to it with love. Let it know that you haven't forgotten it. Your faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Being present with your vision is not about force or control. It is about trust and alignment. You are not meant to chase your vision like something outside of you. You are meant to become the version of yourself who already lives it. That shift happens not through striving, but through presence, through becoming aware of how you speak to yourself, how you carry your body, how you respond to life. When you bring your awareness to the present moment, your energy becomes magnetic. The universe responds not to begging, but to belief. Let your vision become a part of your daily life. Let it shape the way you think, the way you move, the way you love. Hold it in your heart when you rise in the morning. Carry it gently as you go about your day. Speak to it when you feel afraid. Reaffirm it when you feel tired. Remind yourself this dream chose you for a reason. And if you remain present with it, it will unfold in ways you never expected. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know every step. You just need to stay connected to your desire. Stay rooted in your intention. Keep your energy aligned with what you want to create. It is not your job to force things to happen. It is your job to stay present with your vision long enough for the universe to catch up. Presence also means not comparing your journey to others. Your vision has its own rhythm, its own unfolding, its own divine timing. Don't rush it, don't doubt it, don't dishonor it by thinking it should look like someone else's. Be with it the way you would be with someone you love. Patient, kind, encouraging, and consistent. The more love you give to your vision, the more love it gives back to you in return. And if your vision changes along the way, let it. Growth often brings clarity. What matters is that you stay present with your truth, even as it evolves. You are allowed to pivot. You are allowed to redefine. You are allowed to dream again and again. But whatever shape your dream takes, meet it with presence. So breathe deeply, come back to now. Feel the energy of your vision in your heart. And remember, it is not far away. It is already within you. Every moment you choose to believe in it, to nurture it, to align with it, you bring it closer. You are the creator. You are the vessel. You are the space through which miracles unfold. Be present, stay grounded, and let your vision rise. Distractions are not always the enemy. They are not always obstacles to overcome or signs of failure. Sometimes distractions are gentle invitations to return home, back to yourself, back to your truth, back to the moment you've drifted away from. In this modern world, distractions are everywhere. They flash through screens, echo in conversations, live in our thoughts, and hide behind busy schedules. We've grown so accustomed to reaching outward for stimulation that we forget the stillness within. But each time you find yourself pulled in 1,000 directions, ask yourself, what am I being called to return to? You see, the moment you become aware of a distraction is not a moment of weakness. It's a moment of awakening. It's an opening. It's your inner self gently nudging you back to presence. When your mind wanders, when you catch yourself scrolling aimlessly or worrying about the future, you are not failing. You are being offered a choice to continue drifting or to come home to the now. Coming home to yourself doesn't require perfection. It doesn't mean silencing every thought or mastering complete focus at all times. It simply means noticing when you've left the moment and choosing to return. That's the power you hold. That's the gift of awareness. You don't have to stay lost in the distraction. You can breathe, pause, and gently guide yourself back. Sometimes we distract ourselves because we're tired, because we're afraid, because there's something we don't want to face. That's okay too. Be gentle with yourself. Not every distraction is mindless. Some are forms of self-protection. Some are your soul's way of asking for rest. When you recognize this, you can meet your distractions with compassion instead of guilt. You can ask, what am I avoiding? What needs my attention? What am I afraid to feel? The answers will come when you stop judging yourself and start listening. Distractions lose their power when we see them as signals instead of enemies. Each time your mind drifts, it's simply a call to reconnect. a whisper that you've wandered too far from your center, a reminder that your peace is not in the noise, but in the silence beneath it. You don't have to fight distractions. You don't have to resist them. You only need to observe them, recognize them, and use them as stepping stones back to yourself. That is how you begin to live with intention instead of reactivity. That is how you start choosing your focus instead of letting it be chosen for you. Distractions are not just interruptions. Sometimes they are messengers. They show you where your attention is leaking. They show you what you're craving, be it connection, inspiration, rest, or purpose. Instead of feeling frustrated when you lose focus, ask yourself what your soul is longing for in that moment. Maybe you need a break. Maybe you need silence. Maybe you need to realign with what truly matters to you. When you begin to see distractions this way, you reclaim your power. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of your wandering mind. You stop labeling yourself as unmotivated or undisciplined. You begin to understand that presence is a practice, a gentle moment-to-moment return. And the more you practice returning home to yourself, the easier it becomes. You are not lost because your mind wandered. You are not failing because you got distracted. You are human. You are learning. And every time you come back, even after drifting far, you are growing stronger, wiser, and more anchored in who you are. So take a breath right now. Feel your body, notice your thoughts without trying to change them. Bring your awareness back to this moment, this breath, this space. You are here, you are present, you are home. Let your distractions be teachers. Let them remind you of the sacred space within that's always waiting for you. You don't need to escape your mind. You only need to guide it with kindness, with patience, with love. You are not meant to live in chaos. You are not meant to be pulled in 1,000 directions. You are meant to feel grounded, clear, and whole. And you can, each time you return, so when the world becomes loud, when your mind feels cluttered, when your attention slips away, don't panic. Don't shame yourself. Simply come back. Gently, lovingly, over and over again. Distractions are not detours, they are invitations. Return home. Return to your breath. Return to your heart. Return to now. Self-love is not a luxury. It is the foundation of your focus, your clarity, and your direction. When you love yourself deeply, you begin to align your energy with what truly matters. You stop wasting time on things that drain you, and instead you invest your attention in what uplifts and inspires you. Self-love is the silent force behind powerful focus. It sharpens your awareness, strengthens your boundaries, and guides your choices with compassion and truth. When you are rooted in self-love, you no longer chase validation from the outside world. You don't need to prove yourself or please everyone. You begin to understand that your time, your mind, and your emotions are sacred. And from that place of inner respect, your focus becomes a reflection of your worth. You no longer allow distractions to steal your peace because you know you deserve better. You start saying yes to what aligns with your soul and no to what doesn't. That clarity is the gift of loving yourself. Focus is not about rigid discipline or forcing yourself to stay on track. It's about alignment. It's about tuning into what feels right and meaningful for you. And that tuning in only becomes possible when you slow down and listen to yourself. Truly listen. Self-love teaches you to listen without judgment, to hear the whispers of your heart, and to follow the gentle nudges of your inner guidance. When you care for yourself, your energy becomes more stable. You're not pulled in 100 directions trying to be everything for everyone. You no longer abandon yourself for approval. You start showing up for your own life, fully and intentionally. And in doing so, your focus sharpens naturally. It becomes easier to stay present, to prioritize what matters, to follow through on your goals. Not because you have to, but because you want to, because it honors who you are. Self-love also helps you release the guilt that often clouds your mind. Guilt for resting, guilt for saying no, guilt for not doing enough. When you truly love yourself, you give yourself permission to rest without shame, to grow without pressure, and to succeed without sacrificing your peace. And when guilt dissolves, so does the mental fog. You think more clearly, you choose more wisely, you act more decisively. Your focus is no longer diluted by inner conflict. It becomes pure and steady. One of the most beautiful things about self-love is that it teaches you to trust yourself. And trust is essential for focus. When you trust yourself, you stop second-guessing every decision. You stop questioning your worth. You stop allowing fear to paralyze you. You begin to move with purpose, knowing that whatever step you take, even if it's not perfect, is still a step forward. This confidence creates momentum. It keeps your attention rooted in growth, not in worry. Even when life feels chaotic, self-love gives you an anchor. It helps you come back to center, to remember your values, to refocus your energy. You're no longer ruled by outside circumstances. You become the calm within the storm. You become the one who decides what matters and what doesn't. And that calm, that groundedness, is the soil in which powerful focus can grow. Focus also requires boundaries, the ability to protect your energy and time. Self-love strengthens those boundaries. You start to recognize when something or someone is pulling you off course, and you take action to course correct. Not with anger or fear, but with love. Love for your dreams, love for your peace, love for the life you are building. When you love yourself, you stop abandoning your own needs. You stop numbing your desires with distractions. You begin to live awake, present to the beauty around you, and deeply connected to the purpose within you. That presence is what brings your vision into focus. That presence is what keeps you moving, even when the path isn't clear. So if you're struggling to stay focused, don't be hard on yourself. Look within. Ask yourself how you've been treating your own heart. Ask yourself what you've been prioritizing and whether those things truly serve you. Be honest. Be kind. Be willing to come home to yourself. Because when you return to self-love, your mind becomes clear. Your direction becomes strong. And your soul becomes ready. You were never meant to live scattered and confused. You were meant to live with intention. And that intention begins with how you love yourself. Choose love, choose presence, choose you, and watch your focus sharpen like never before. Stay patient with the process. Everything that is unfolding in your life is happening in perfect timing, even if it doesn't always feel that way. We often want instant results, instant healing, instant clarity, instant success, but life doesn't move on demand. It flows in seasons, and each season has its purpose. There are moments of blooming, moments of waiting, and moments of shedding. All of them are sacred. Patience is not passive. It is not sitting back and doing nothing. It is a quiet strength, a calm confidence that trusts the unfolding. It says, I may not see it yet, but I believe in what's becoming. That is a powerful mindset. When you are patient, you give the universe space to do its work. You give yourself permission to grow without pressure. And in that space, beautiful things begin to take root. The process isn't always linear. You might take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. You might feel like nothing is happening at all. But underneath the surface, transformation is always in motion. Just like seeds take time to break through the soil, your dreams and healing need time to rise into form. If you rush the process, you risk missing the miracle. You might mistake a pause for a dead end, but life is not stagnant. It is always moving, even in the stillness. Patience helps you release the need to control every outcome. It softens your grip and allows life to breathe. You stop forcing things that aren't ready. You stop chasing timelines that don't serve you, and instead you begin to trust the divine rhythm of your own journey. You understand that what is meant for you cannot be lost. It will find you when you are truly ready to receive it. In a world obsessed with speed and results, choosing patience is revolutionary. It is an act of deep self-love to say, I am enough, even in the becoming. I am whole, even as I wait. That kind of mindset nourishes your soul. It keeps you grounded when things feel uncertain. It reminds you that your worth is not measured by how fast you grow, but by how true you remain to yourself along the way. Staying patient also means learning to embrace discomfort. Growth often comes with growing pains. There will be times when things don't make sense, when nothing seems to be happening, when you feel stuck. These are not signs to give up. These are invitations to go deeper, to trust more fully, and to strengthen your inner foundation. Sometimes the waiting period is the most powerful part of your transformation. It's where you develop the resilience and faith that will carry you forward. It's easy to be patient when everything is going well, but real patience is tested in the in-between moments, the times when the vision is clear but the path is not, when your heart knows what it wants but life hasn't caught up yet. In those moments, stay close to your inner truth. Keep showing up, even if progress feels slow. Every small step you take is a seed being planted. Every act of faith is a message to the universe that you are ready. Patience does not mean inaction. It means aligned action. It means moving forward without anxiety, choosing peace over pressure. It means celebrating the small victories, honoring the quiet progress, and trusting that your persistence will bloom in time. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, just as the tides rise and fall, your journey will ebb and flow. Let it. You don't need to rush your healing. You don't need to force your breakthrough. What is meant to be yours is already making its way to you. Your only job is to stay present, to stay open, and to stay faithful to the process. Trust your timing. Trust the delays. Trust the detours. They are not punishment, they are preparation. There is wisdom in the waiting, there is beauty in the unfolding, and there is power in your ability to keep believing even when the results are not yet visible. Stay patient. Breathe deeply. Be gentle with yourself. Know that you are doing better than you think, and you are farther along than you realize. The process is not just about reaching a goal, it's about becoming the person who is ready to receive it. And that becoming takes time. So take heart. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Stay patient. Everything is working for you, even now.